What's up, everybody? Welcome to After the Bell. I am Jeff Meacham. Thank you all for your return viewership. If you're returning, your first time viewership, this is the first time watching it, although, fair warning, you have been warned. Alright. Q&A as always here on this show. First one comes from YouTube. Actually, they're all from YouTube today. I did a Facebook, Twitter the other day, and got through them all. I was surprised at myself. So, these are from YouTube. Warrior 4 Life 21. After seeing the Road Dogg enter into the Royal Rumble this year, do you see him doing any other special TV moments again? And you think they'll bring Billy Gunn back to do a one-night stand kind of thing as the New Age Outlaws? Well, we talked about this. I don't know if it was on the show, on Dad's we talked about this, or whatever it was, but one of the big, it was on the Epic Rant, the Epic, oh my god, 50, we talked about this. I don't know if this has been up yet or not, but this particular part. One of the regrets I have about not going to Wrestle Reunion this last January was missing out on the New Age Outlaws, and I'd personally like to see them have one more match. Not necessarily a long run like like a Flair did in 2002, or like a Hulk tried to do in 2002-2003, but a match or two, let's say. And I like to see them both back. Road Dogg held his own in the Rumble. I gotta give Brian Armstrong credit. He really went in there and did his thing, and I was impressed. Billy coming back would be really cool. Just like I said, a one-off thing, just a kind of happenstance thing. It'd be awesome to see the New Age Outlaws come out there and do the whole intro one more time. It'd be awesome. If nothing else, just the intro. The intro was the best part of that gimmick. Lawson Ricky 12. Who do you think are the biggest underachievers in wrestling history? Mine are Scott Hall, Brian Pillman, and Curt Hennig. I don't know if you mean underrated or underachievers. Because underachievers would mean that they really worked their hardest and didn't achieve near as much. Scott Hall, toward the end, especially in WCW, didn't work as hard and was handed the world. He really was. So I don't think Scott belongs on that list. Curt Hennig, however you want to say his name, because there's no ing, it's just ng, ig. I never tried to say Kurt's name. So Curt, I don't know if underachiever, definitely deserving of being a world champion. I definitely not underrated, because Curt is very much rated as he should be. And as far as Brian Pillman goes, Brian, again, I think he does qualify as underachiever, because he had so much more potential. Had he not gotten the car wreck and shattered his ankle into a million pieces, I think he could have done so much more. And his time in the Horsemen and his time in the WWF definitely showcases how much was there, and mentally and physically he just could not do it. I really don't have a particular underachiever those guys are great as far as Curt and Brian goes. I really don't have a particular, I guess, favorite or top or whatever you want to say. PunkFan97, do you hear that Ron Simmons is going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year? Okay, let me state right now, I am taping this February 17th. This is going up February 20th. Sorry to break kayfabe again, JJ. I don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. I never know what WWE is going to do. But as of this moment, they did not announce that. I personally think that Ron Simmons going in would be a great induction this year. He achieved huge college football stardom in Florida, at the University of Florida, not Miami, that's where The Rock played, but the other university in Florida. I think that would be awesome if Ron Simmons inducted Hall of Fame, and it can only happen if JBL inducts him. I said the other day, talking to Jay, it happened in kind of half-assed, that Teddy Long could do it. No. Teddy Long would be a fun inductee, but JBL is the only man that can truly induct Ron Simmons into the Hall of Fame. As JBL. Has to be John Bradford. It can't be John Layfield. It has to be JBL. The hat, not the limo maybe, because the limo would be too hard to get out there on that stage there at the arena. Oh, come on. He's got to do the whole JBL. At least for a minute. He's got to come out for a minute, play the whole JBL shtick, and then totally go into serious mode and be John. You suck.
I'd rather him come out as Brad Shaw. APA Brad Shaw.
Well, they had to
not JBL Brad Shaw.
Well, they have to dye his hair, grow it out, grow it black, and then he have to like come out and draw a beard on. He don't look like that anymore.
He had short hair in the APA towards
at the end, at the very end.
Still.
Trouble is, I really don't want to see him in that no shirt and those horrible APA pants again. I really don't want to see that anymore.
Okay.
I'm so over that. JBL it is. Okay. Let's see. This is from Reborn Blader. Do you think that with this latest injury storyline that Zack Ryder will be able to develop a more serious character? It seems like WWE is pushing Zack into more and more TV time, and I wouldn't think that he can keep his Long Island IC gimmick if he were to feud with someone like Kane or other top Raw wrestlers. Jeff Meacham for Broski of the Week. Casa D18 Studios for Broskis. Skis. As far as Zack, he can still do Long Island IC because it's been picked up by the WWE as a YouTube show. So now it's WWE produced. Like it wasn't already. Scott Stanford wrote that. I'd like Zack to stay the way he is. I don't think he can be too serious. Somewhat more serious, granted. But not over the top, like, you know, I'm going to kick your butt type serious. Zack, that wouldn't work for Zack at all. GH Domingo 7967. But WWE finally signing Chris Hero. Do you see Chris and Claudio bringing back the glory to the tag team division if done right? Who are Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli? Oh, you mean Antonio Cesaro and Cassius? Oh no. Oh, no. They have ruined any chance of them being a credible tag team together by making Claudio a stereotype and making Hero's last name literally say, oh no. Well, I think if it's O-N-O, like Sonny Ono, even though he was a Japanese stereotype from here to Thursday, no question about that. But Cassius, like Muhammad Ali with a K instead of a C, O-O-H-N-O. Oh, no. If you want to hear about a credible tag team division, you want to hear about credible rosters these days, I'm making an announcement. I'm making an announcement right now. Because JJ and I are the only ones who are actually doing this project. And this is JJ's brainchild. JJ nurtured this. He fostered this. He took a question that one of you all had asked me and just ran off to the races with it. Starting, I don't know when. But we've already in the process of working it out. One will be a Renegade, I'm sure. One will be an After the Bell, or we'll do it on Dad's together. We haven't decided yet. We have done our own version of a draft, if you want to call it that. Each of us has.
I think the better term for it would be a fantasy league.
Fantasy league is a better term. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Yes. I think that JJ and I have come up with rosters that would, if able to actually happen, put WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, everybody out of their business. We would rule the world. Not as a collective unit, because we're our own leagues, individually. JJ's got some talent. I've got some talent. We both know, as far as our #1 tag team was drafted, we know that, because that was right away. Because they're ruining them already. Look out for that in the coming days, weeks, months, who knows. Shout out to Eeyore. But we'll be letting you know about that. We want you guys to give us your opinions too. You can take anybody from any company. We'll talk more about that soon. But Chris and Claudio being in FCW will be the ruination of the Kings of Wrestling. Right here first. This is a big one from Extreme Animal 23. Before I get to my question, I want to thank you for answering all my questions that I ask. I've been a fan since the older days of when you were working your old job. Still a fan to this date. Casa 18 for Broski of the Month. Thank you. First of all, before I get this question, thank you so much for sending it in, because I get so much hate mail on this thing. You never answer my question. You never get to my stuff. It's like, if you're like Extreme Animal 23 and ask good questions, I answer your stuff. And I must have on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anything. You guys send in good stuff, I will address it. What did you think of Raw last week? What do you think's going to happen with John Cena? Lose his mind? Kill you all? No. Like, ask me good stuff and I'll answer it. Like this question, for example. My question is for you and JJ if you would want to answer. You mentioned many superstars you feel deserve to be pushed up from upper mid-card to main event status. You have mentioned Kofi Kingston, but never really went in depth on him from what I've seen. Do you truly believe he deserves to be in the main event right now? And if not, what do you think needs to change for him to move to main event status? Thanks again. I'm going to let JJ field that one first, because we've talked at length about Kofi ever since the debate last Monday. And there's one thing that came off to both of us when Kofi had his turn to speak that really caught our attention and made us think, you know, if this happens, SHIT, boys in the room, can go down.
What's going on, everybody? Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams here behind the cameras. You've already heard my voice a couple times. Do I feel that Kofi deserves to be in the main event the way his gimmick is at this current moment in time? No. However, based off of what he said in the debate, as Jeff addressed a moment ago, were the WWE to take his, you know, I've been held down in this company for far too long approach and run with it and not turn it into the stereotypical Whitey's been holding me down because I'm black road, I think they could be onto something here. Kofi has been, for lack of a better term, comic relief for far too long. He's an outstanding talent. I could even dare say that I see him winning the big one some point down the road, but not with the happy-go-lucky, smile, boom, boom, boom BS that he does on a weekly basis.
There you go. Yeah, I couldn't say any better. That's what we've talked about the last week or so. Kofi needs an edge. Adam Copeland. By the way, read his book next month. Book of the Month Club. To really get himself over. He needs that. He needs that turn. He needs what we've been begging John Cena to do for 7 years. Turn that switch the opposite direction.
I don't even think he necessarily needs a heel turn per se, but I think with everything that's been going on with Evan Bourne and the Air Boom team, I think it's finally starting to get to him. It's like, look, if this guy wants to F up his own life and his own career, that's fine. Stop taking it out on me.
Like legit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Because think about it. How much TV time has Kofi gotten since Evan got suspended?
The first time. Yeah.
Either time.
Yeah. True. I think except for like match time, that was the first time we've seen Kofi talk in months.
Yeah.
Definitely since losing the belts. This is from Rexo619. Jeff and JJ, I like the show you guys do. I've been a fan of Jeff since 2009. I like watching dads a lot. My question is, why is WWE letting Ric Flair be in the Hall of Fame this year when he works for TNA? Nothing against Flair or the Horseman. Why would Vince do this, not Jim Cornette or Chris Benoit or Paul Heyman? To me, WWE is losing his low-seen left nut. Or why not let Eddie's father and uncle in the Hall of Fame? Those guys be, because they teach Eddie the ways of wrestling. Peace out.
I just have to say, before you answer this, I tried my darndest to make this question as grammatically proper as I could.
And I appreciate that.
But there came a point where it was like, even I couldn't understand what he was trying to get across. So,
all right, I'm gonna
answer it as best you can, sir.
I'm gonna try and, do my best to, weed through the jungle here. Wow. To Extreme Animal 23, it's stuff like that doesn't get answered more often than not. And I appreciate JJ's executive producer trying to clean that up. 'Cause, dang.
The main point of the question, if we want to try and condense it here, is I believe, why is Flair getting into the Hall of Fame
and not
when he works for another company instead of these guys in particular, Cornette, Benoit, Heyman, Gory, etc.
Right.
There, run with that.
Okay. All right. I'll make this real simple. Cornette weekly cusses out WWE for their mistakes. Benoit killed 3 people. Heyman, see Jim Cornette. Although Paul Heyman's been better as far as with the Brock Lesnar thing, as far as being on WWE.com, and maybe Paulie one day. Eddie's father, I don't know. When they go back to Texas, who knows? Eddie's uncle, I don't know. Eddie's uncle was never a wrestler, as far as my knowledge. Gory's brother, I don't think was in the wrestling business. If you're talking about his older brother, Chavo Sr., if it was like an LA Hall of Fame, no doubt about that. But overall wrestling business, don't know. And I'm not sure about them losing their left nut, but I do know that all those guys you mentioned do belong in the Hall of Fame. Whether they will or not depends on Jim Cornette. Stop being Jim Cornette, which ain't gonna happen. Chris Benoit's family building a DeLorean. And Paul Heyman not being Paul Heyman, which ain't gonna happen. So, there you go. Lord, I apologize. Be the big amen. Alright. Mr. RVD Fan 11, what are your thoughts about Loki / Kaval / Senshi? Do you know if he's going back to TNA or WWE or any professional wrestling organization? That's a good question. Organization with a Z, by the way. I like to think that Loki will be back at some point with independent wrestling. I've been trying to follow his Twitter as best I can. I know he tweets a lot on the weekends as far as like what's going on with him. I haven't seen anything major of him like returning to Ring of Honor or TNA or any major outlet, but you know, you may see him at a show here and there. Yes, sir.
I believe he made his debut for Dragon Gate when they were in town for Wrestle Reunion, so he very well may be working with Dragon Gate in the very near future.
Think about those matches, kids. Oh my God. Loki and Dragon Gate. Don't that up. Sickness. Alright. Another one from Extreme Animal 23. The man's got 2 today because he's that awesome and he's that grammatically correct above all else.
So is Extreme Animal 23 the broski of the day?
He is. I don't have a broski bandana yet. Zach.
Mickey hat.
Yeah, Mickey. There you go. Oh, the gloves came out. Fail. Alright, there you go. This is from the broski of the day. Extreme Animal 23. That's never going to happen again, by the way. It's the only time we're going to use that gimmick. Maybe. Maybe the gloves next time. We'll see.
The whiskey of the day.
The what?
The whiskey.
The Mouseketeer.
The Mouseketeer of the day.
The Mousky of the day.
The Mousky?
Yeah.
Oh, Mouse and Broski?
Yeah.
It's a work in progress, is what this is. You the man is Screaming Out 23. So we're going to go with for now. Because I've already messed it up. On Raw last week, they continued with the storyline between Kane and John Cena. They had a segment where Eve kissed John after he saved her from Kane. Zack saw the kiss and got angry at both of them. Now, with this finally to Cena's heel turn, will we see a Ryder heel turn? Can you see these two having a match together at a pay-per-view where Zack is no longer injured? How will Zack and Eve play into Cena's match at WrestleMania? And again, this is taped on February 17th, going up February 20th. Don't know what happened last night at the Chamber, because it hasn't happened yet in my eyes. I don't think that John... What the hell just happened here? I don't think John's heel turn will have anything to do with Zack or with Eve necessarily, although having to kiss Eve Torres, you know, considering what a info she is. Not a good day, Tater. No. You know better. You know better. We all know better. At least in this house. Anyway, I don't think Zack and Eve will play into WrestleMania, really. I think if they're going to leave that one straight up Rock and Cena. It needs to be. It needs to be those two battling out one-on-one, settling differences once and for all. Who's the better man on that night at WrestleMania? When John does turn, if he does turn, however, I can definitely see him and Zack going at it. And Zack being like, "You betrayed us all, bro." And John be like, "That's nice. Hey, shut up." Maybe be the FU again. Lambert581. Hey Jeff, what are your thoughts on? Oh God, again, it hasn't even happened. I'm already retching. Santino taking Randy Orton's spot in the chamber. Yeah, those bugs are bugging. And do you think he could? And do you think he could win? Can we safely assume he didn't win last night? Can we make that assumption? There is no way, and I'm gonna look really dumb if this happens, but there is no way Santino's going to be the World Heavyweight Champion. It's not going... seriously, I would take Bryan definitely retaining. I'll take the Big Show. I'll take Cody. I'll take the Great Khali. I'll take the fifth person...
Wade
Barrett. Oh my God, yes, Wade Barrett, definitely. Any of them 5. Even the Great Khali over Santino winning the World Championship. If Santino wins the World Championship and I have to make a retraction on this show next week, I'm going to be pissed. Or later on this week on Dad's, whenever it's going to be. I'm going to be pissed. SHN3751. Can I get the lowdown on your beef with Rey Mysterio?
Must be a newbie.
Must be a newbie. Must be a new guy. So I'll be nice. Ray took Eddie's push. Ray took Eddie's belt. Ray took Eddie's spotlight. Only because Eddie died. Simple as that. Tahizi. That's what it says. Which Vince McMahon match was the best? I love Taker versus Vince, Buried Alive, and Flair versus Vince from the 2002 Royal Rumble. I like both of those two. Simply because Vince bled like a stuck pig, especially in the Buried Alive match. But my favorite Vince McMahon match ever has to be a tie. Him and Shane at WrestleMania 17. And probably the cage match with him and Austin. It wasn't the most artistically pretty match, either one of them. But both him and Austin and him and Shane beat the holy high, can't say the word in front of the kid out of each other. Unbelievable. Alright, we are... Inbox is clear. After the bell is in the bag. Mailbag. I cracked myself up. Anyway, again, if I'm wrong about Santino, I'll publicly shoot myself on the air. I will do it on Dad's. We'll see you later on this week with Dad's.